Welcome to Reds Focus LFC fans. Today we bring you the top 4 breaking Liverpool news headline.
Jurgen Klopp has finally revealed why he walked away from Liverpool, and it perfectly exposes the pressure Arne Slot is under right now. Konate's future is taking a big twist, and new comments on Florian Wirtz could change everything. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool updates. Jurgen Klopp has finally revealed why he walked away from Liverpool, and it perfectly exposes the pressure Arne Slot is under right now. Konate's future is taking a big twist, and new comments on Florian Wirtz could change everything. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool updates. Arne Slot finds himself in a position strikingly similar to the one Jurgen Klopp occupied before the German stepped down as Liverpool manager. Midway through the 2023-24 campaign, and after nearly 9 years in charge, Klopp made the stunning announcement that he would leave Anfield. Citing fatigue and the relentless pressure to deliver success, the 2019 Champions League winning coach revealed he would be quitting the club at the end of the season. A few weeks before his departure, Klopp offered a little window into the motivations behind his decision, motivations that may ultimately steer Slot towards the exit as well. He feared that staying put would only extend the slide that had left Liverpool 5th and without silverware in 2022-23. In essence, he took himself out of the equation for the club's benefit. The football hasn't been great the last few weeks, and as a result, you start hearing people say that I look really tired. I'm just old, Klopp told Sky Sports in May 2024. I'm about being in it 100% until the last day. That was always the plan. I was sure that if I didn't make that decision now, next year it could have been tricky. The thought of picking yourself up for another preseason, make big decisions, for that you really need to be full of energy. 80% is not enough. That's the truth. It's too much. It's a 24/7 job. Yes, there are more important things in life, but if you really care, then it's 24/7. I did it for a pretty long time, and I knew I couldn't continue to do it at the standard necessary for a club like Liverpool. Although Slot can't claim to be suffering from the same sort of fatigue that afflicted Klopp, having only been in the Liverpool hot seat for 18 months, he will certainly relate to his predecessor's insistence on sky-high standards, standards that simply aren't being met at the moment. The Reds are on their worst run of form for decades, having lost 9 of their last 12 matches in all competitions. What began as a sturdy Premier League title defense has unraveled into full-blown crisis on every front. Wednesday's 4-1 defeat to PSV in the Champions League was their 3rd straight loss by a margin of 3 goals, following successive 3-0 defeats to Nottingham Forest and Manchester City. As a result, Liverpool have tumbled out of the automatic Champions League qualification spots and into the bottom half of the Premier League, a place they haven't occupied this late in a season since the 2012-13 campaign. Intense pressure is now mounting on Slot, and while he is understood to retain the backing of Liverpool's hierarchy, that goodwill may evaporate quickly if performances and results don't improve quickly. The fixture list does offer a degree of relief. Up next is a meeting with a struggling West Ham side, followed by clashes with newly promoted Sunderland and Leeds. Still, an easier run of games brings higher expectations, and if Slot fails to meet them, he may yet go the way of Klopp, whether by choice or by chop of the axe.
Arne Slot latest, Liverpool future, firing timeline, Jurgen Klopp's stance. Liverpool has lost 3 of its last 3 matches in all competitions, and Arne Slot's future at Anfield is hanging in the balance, with Jurgen Klopp linked with a return. Arne Slot's position at Liverpool appears increasingly precarious, following a series of disappointing results. Heavy losses to Manchester City, Nottingham Forest, and PSV this month mean the Reds have secured victory in only 3 of their previous 12 games. The latest 2 defeats, both occurring at Anfield by a 3-goal margin, have proved a watershed moment for many supporters, with Liverpool stuck in mid-table positions in both the Premier League and Champions League tables. A kind run of upcoming fixtures could ease the growing pressure, beginning with this weekend's trip to West Ham. Nevertheless, further setbacks against sides Liverpool ought to overcome could ultimately determine Slot's tenure at Anfield. Regarding potential successors, former manager Jurgen Klopp remains a recurring name in discussions, while an interim appointment is also being considered before identifying a permanent replacement at the season's conclusion. With all this in mind, Liverpool.com has compiled the latest developments regarding Slot's future, Klopp's speculation, and the various verdicts being delivered on his potential dismissal. Firing timeline. Jamie Carragher delivered a particularly scathing evaluation of Slot, with the Liverpool legend insisting on 7 points from the team's forthcoming 3 matches against West Ham, Sunderland, and Leeds. Arne Slot has a week to save his job, he wrote in his Telegraph column. No matter how much goodwill the manager has, Liverpool Football Club cannot sustain the drop in standards witnessed over the past 3 months. No one knows better than me how much that reality will be hurting everyone connected with my old club. Liverpool do not willingly sack coaches, especially those that bring great success. After Slot won the Premier League in his first season, he seemed destined for a long stay on Merseyside too. Now, just 6 months later, he is hanging on. Liverpool future. In the aftermath of the 4-1 defeat against PSV, Slot delivered an unambiguous message regarding his future at Liverpool. I am feeling safe. I am okay. I've got a lot of support from above. It would be nice to turn it around and get a victory, of course. But if you are not doing well, then it is normal that questions are asked. I'm not worried. What I mean by that is my focus is on other things than on my own position. I need to do better, and that's what I'm trying to do every single day. The next day, Slot was once more questioned about his future. We've had the same conversations as we've had since I've been here. We fight on, and we try to improve. That is what we all try. The conversations have been the same as the last 18 months. Let down by the players? No, not at all. Although I do agree that our standards, the team, have not been at the standard we're used to. We think we can play better than we do. The focus is on the team, not the individuals. If the opposite is happening, we look at the team, not the individuals. It's not easy to say what I can do different. If you win, lose, or draw, you reflect on decisions you do in the week. Maybe you do it more if you lose. We try to find the answer we need to win a game. In the end, it's about doing what this club is about. Keep fighting. We have to fight together. It would also be nice if we reward ourselves in the moments we play well, because there are large parts when we do. Every small mistake or error leads to us conceding a goal. Jurgen Klopp's stance. Jurgen Klopp has addressed his future on several occasions since departing Liverpool, discussing potential returns to management. Speaking on the Diary of a CEO podcast last October, Klopp suggested it was theoretically possible he might one day return to Anfield. However, in earlier comments, the German manager appeared to rule out such ambitions, indicating he's thoroughly enjoying his time away from the game. Not at all, he confessed in 2024 when questioned about whether he eagerly awaits match kickoffs. I was super happy with the way Liverpool performed. I watched some games, but it is not like, oh, it's Saturday. I didn't know when games started, I was just out. I played sports. We enjoyed life, spent time with the grandkids, completely normal stuff, knowing I will work again, but knowing as well that I don't want to work as a coach anymore. When pressed on whether he truly believes he'll never return to coaching, Klopp replied, "That's what I think now, but you don't know. I'm 58. If I started again at 65, everybody will say, you said you'll never do it again. Sorry, I thought 100% when I said it. That is what I think now. I don't miss anything."
Ibrahima Konate's next move is clear after Real Madrid transfer snub.
The Liverpool defender may be forced to reevaluate his options following the recent news surrounding Real Madrid's diminished interest, but there is a clear priority for the Frenchman. It's the update no one should be surprised at. Ibrahima Konate's inconsistent performances are beginning to put off potential suitors. Perhaps inconsistent is a kind word for the Liverpool defender's standards this season. His displays have baffled. Despite all the negativity surrounding Konate, he has at times been outstanding. That was the case against Arsenal and Burnley in the early weeks of the campaign, and even recently in defeat to Manchester United. However, those highs were offset by several dismal lows, as his chaotic showings went unpunished in August and September. Of late, though, there have been no positives to cling to. Konate has embodied Arne Slot's side: nervous, erratic, and dreadfully underperforming. The last three performances have been truly shocking for a player who was among the league's best defenders last season. He has now been withdrawn in 7 of his 18 starts this season. It's not quite the standard Real is looking for. Hence, the Athletic's update that the 15-time European champions have communicated their diminished interest should not come as a shock. Why would the side that styles itself as the continent's best look to recruit an error-strewn liability? Los Blancos are not the only club linked with Konate. Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, and Barcelona have also been credited with interest in the Frenchman. But neither of the trio specializes in recruiting free agents quite like Real Madrid. Make no mistake, Friday's update means Konate's chances of remaining at Liverpool beyond June are significantly greater. Despite some social media grumblings, that is a positive. It seems many fans have quickly forgotten just how impressive Konate was last season, and there have been flashes of that defensive colossus at times this campaign. It should not be overlooked that Liverpool remains keen on securing the former RB Leipzig man's long-term future. The club does not underestimate his quality, despite the disappointing start to the season. Meanwhile, centre-back is becoming an increasingly precarious position in Slot's squad. Virgil van Dijk's standards have dropped, and his contract expires at the end of next season. As does Joe Gomez's. As reported by Liverpool.com earlier this month, the Reds are willing to let the long-serving player leave should they have sufficient options in that area. Giovanni Lo Celso's transfer has not gone to plan since his summer arrival, and there are no guarantees he will be fit this time next year following that season-ending ACL injury. Mark Guehi remains a transfer target, one Liverpool could still make a January move, or sign for free next summer, or even lose out on altogether. He is not short of interest from Europe's preeminent clubs. Another intriguing figure lurking in the background is Jarell Quansah. The England international departed Anfield last summer and is excelling at Bayer Leverkusen. Liverpool retains a buyback option which could be exercised next year. Given the deficiencies at the heart of defense this season, few would be surprised if Liverpool did. All this feeds into the Konate saga. There are so many unknowns in that area. Undoubtedly, Liverpool's number 5 remains the greatest of those uncertainties, and Friday's update does not necessarily mean he will remain at the club next season. That is unlikely to help with his volatile form, and it is perhaps not a surprise that Konate's standards have dropped since he entered the final year of his contract. Getting them back to last season's levels must now be the priority. That will be a positive for Liverpool, Konate, and any other interested parties. The Reds won't be interested in the latter, though. They will hope Friday's update clears some of the fog that has engulfed Konate over recent weeks and ultimately result in him renewing extension talks.
Florian Wirtz has failed to score in 16 matches for Liverpool since his £116 million transfer from Bayer Leverkusen. But Sergio Aguero believes the German will eventually turn his Anfield career around. Sergio Aguero has thrown his support behind Florian Wirtz, insisting that the struggling Liverpool star will soon become vital for the Reds. The 22-year-old Germany international has endured a tough start at Anfield following his £116 million transfer from Bayer Leverkusen in June. Despite making 16 appearances for Arne Slot's champions, Wirtz has yet to find the back of the net. Although he has managed 3 assists, 2 in the Champions League and 1 in the FA Cup, his inconsistent performances have seen him regularly rotated with Cody Gakpo in the starting lineup. However, former Manchester City striker Aguero is confident it's only a matter of time before Wirtz hits his stride and becomes a key player for Liverpool. In a chat with Stake, Aguero shared his view on Wirtz. "It's hard to give advice. Players have different personalities and their adaptation times vary. Some adapt quickly and others need more time. But I have no doubt he will settle. Great players, and Wirtz is one, sooner or later settle and become vital in their teams." Aguero's words came shortly after ex-Liverpool midfielder Dietmar Hamann suggested that Wirtz could be loaned out during the January transfer window. Could Florian Wirtz still leave Liverpool on loan in January? Yeah. Obviously, with all the help and all the protection from the club and the manager, if you bring somebody in for that amount of money, then maybe he should be the one. Even though he's still very young, then maybe you expect him to turn things around. I don't think, the way he's playing at the moment, I'm not sure he's capable of doing that. And when I watch him sometimes, thinking, has he lost belief because it is in the Premier League? Sometimes when I watch him when he loses possession, I'm thinking maybe it's because it's a lot quicker, a lot more physical, as if you were to say, I'm not sure that's for me. I hope I'm wrong, but this is how it looks to me. Sometimes if it's going on for too long, it's very hard to turn it around. Alongside discussing Wirtz, Aguero also weighed in on Mohamed Salah and the Egyptians' current goal drought. The 33-year-old has found the net just 5 times across 18 appearances this campaign. Never doubt a great goal scorer. Salah has a great scoring average, and I'm sure he'll get back to his rhythm. I think he was affected by his team not having the best start, and a player can't do everything alone.
Arne Slot admits it's almost impossible to change things for Liverpool versus West Ham. Liverpool manager faces intense scrutiny after 9th defeat in 12 games as Reds slump to bottom half of the Premier League table in worst run of form for 72 years. Arne Slot insists it is almost impossible to overhaul his struggling Liverpool side and remains confident he can turn around his players' fortunes. The Reds earned during their worst spell in 72 years following a dismal 4-1 Champions League defeat at home to PSV Eindhoven on Wednesday night. It marked a 9th loss in 12 matches across all competitions, with Liverpool now languishing in the bottom half of the table just 6 months after securing a record-equaling 20th league title. Slot's position as manager is now under significant scrutiny heading into a crucial week, with Sunday's trip to West Ham United followed by home and away fixtures against Sunderland and Leeds United, respectively. The Dutchman believes that relentless fixture schedule is making it virtually impossible to contemplate any wholesale changes to his underperforming squad. "Is the question, should I change dramatically?" said Slot when questioned about potentially shaking up his starting 11. "If, for example, you want another system with 5 defenders, that could be an issue. I don't even have 5 defenders. It suits the players best, the system we are playing now. They have played this system probably throughout their whole career, and there is hardly any training time for us. So it is almost impossible to change our complete idea about football if we play every 2 days." Remarkably, dethroned champions Manchester City endured an even worse spell this time last year, when they managed just 1 victory in 13 matches, yet still secured 3rd place and reached the FA Cup final before mounting another title challenge this season. And Slot has pointed to Pep Guardiola's side's experience as evidence Liverpool can still rescue their difficult campaign. "I said already multiple reasons, and I can come up with an extra 5 or 6 for why we are on a run of form like this, but they will never be enough to make up for the results that we have," he said. "I am not sure, but Pep will probably have said the same. For example, we had injuries last season as well. So it is not like this season we have injuries, and last season we didn't, so that helped us with a better run of form. But indeed, the example of City can help because they have quality and we have quality. The best chance to come out of a situation like this is that we as a team and me as a manager bring the best out of these players again to bring us back to winning ways. If we didn't have the quality, we would have had a big problem. I think we have the quality and we have to bring the best out of them again.